Welcome to the Explainer series for Quant. Here we'll be using very simple concepts and apply it to CAT level problems and solve them as easily as possible.
This is the concluding part of coordinate geometry. Here we'll be looking at miscellaneous and complex questions which came up in the past, CAT, XAT, IFT papers. In fact, it's mostly non-CAT questions. I would suggest pause this video, have a look at the PDF. The link is available in the description of this video. Once you have tried these on your own, then proceed with the rest of this session.
Please do share this with your friends who are preparing for CAT and other MBA entrance examinations. You can like and follow us on Facebook as well as subscribe to our YouTube channel to get live event and notifications for all the updates regarding CAT and other MBA entrance examination. You can also look at our WhatsApp as well as Telegram lists. You can join over there and we will update you. We don't spam over there. If you want, you can enroll for our Quant and LRDI courses. These are the best and the most comprehensive courses available in the market.
Until now, we have looked at basics of coordinate geometry, lines and circles, areas as well. In this session, we'll basically be looking at some complex problems on coordinate geometry and miscellaneous. They need not be difficult, but they are not classifiable in other areas as such. Okay, so first one is basically from XAT 2015. Find the equation of the graph below. First thing which you need to notice is x-axis is here, y-axis is here. So realize that it's not your usual x and y axis, right? So what you need to do is, this is basically going to be a parabola with on y square, not on x square, right? So option A is out, option C is out. So either option B or option D is the correct choice, right? Now, if I put y is equal to 0 here, if you put y is equal to 0, x comes as close to minus 20. If you put y is equal to 0, x comes as minus 19. If you put y is equal to 0, x comes as minus 40. Obviously, this is a better answer. Option D is your correct choice. Key point, don't mix the x and y axis. Realize that x and y axis are not the same as what is usually given to you. That's the trick of the question. Other than that, it's pretty straightforward. The second question is from IFT 2010. The area of a triangle is 6. Two of these vertices are this. The third vertex lies on the line y is equal to x plus 5. Find the third vertex. Okay, so one vertex is 1, 1. Second vertex is 4 minus 1. And the third vertex lies on this line. Right, so the point should satisfy this criteria. The problem is all three values satisfy this criteria. Right, if you substitute 2 by 5 here, 2 by 5 plus 5 gives you 27 by 5. If you put minus 3 by 5 here, minus 3 by 5 plus 22, plus 5 gives you 22, and same for this. Right, so it has to be one of these three or none of the above. Right, so how do I get this? Right, so you have a triangle. Right, so the third dimension is x comma x plus 5. Now let's use the area formula. 6 should be half of modulus of some value, right? So which means that modulus should be equal to 12, right? So what will be that modulus? That modulus, if you look the area relation, it will be x into 1 minus minus 1, so that's 2, plus the second one will be 1 into minus 1 minus x minus 5, so that will be minus x minus 6. The third one would be 4 times x plus 5 minus 1, so x plus 4. This modulus should be equal to 12, 6 into 2. Let's rewrite this. So you will get 2x minus x minus 6 plus 4x plus 16 equals, if you remove the modulus, it will be plus or minus 12. Right, so 6 minus 1 will be 5x, minus 6 minus 16 will be 10, should be equal to plus minus 12. So x can be minus 12 minus 10 will be minus 2 by 5 sorry, minus 12, minus 10 will be minus 22 by 5. Or if you take positive 12, it will be 12 minus 10, 2 by 5. Right, so either minus 22 by 5 or 2 by 5. This one satisfies. Option A will be our correct choice. Just be a little patient, apply the triangle relation, job done. Third and fourth are basically a double question from XAT 2010. Okay, so let's see what this is. Let A1, A2, till A n be n points on the straight line where y is equal to px for q. The coordinate of x a k is xk, yk, where k is from 1 to n. So basically, coordinate of A1 will be x1, y1, coordinate of A2 will be x2, y2, and so on, such that x1, x2, so on are in arithmetic progression. Okay, right. What will be the coordinates? The coordinates of A2 is this, A24 is this. What will be the coordinate of A8? And the number of points satisfying the above mentioned criteria and not in the first criteria. So let us try to roughly plot this graph. Okay, so you have the second point is in 2 minus 2. This is the second point. And the 24th point is in 6831. This is the 24th point. Now we know x is in a arithmetic progression. X is in arithmetic progression, right? So you would see that we can find out how much is x changing. So the second part is 2. 24th term is 68. So it's an increase of 66 over 22 terms. So your common difference equals 3. Common difference is equal to 3, right? What will be the equation of this curve? You can substitute the equation of this curve. Equation of the curve is y will be equal to, you will have, so we'll have minus 2 equals 2x, 2 will be equal to 2p plus q, and you will have 31 equals 68p plus q. If you subtract this, you'll get 33 equals 66p. So p should be equal to half. Q should be equal to minus 3. Now this should not be very difficult. The first one is, what is the y coordinate of A8? What will be the y coordinate of A8? Now x coordinate would be from 2 to the 8th term. You're going 6 terms, right? You'll have to add 3 into 6, 18 common differences. 6 into 3, 18 more points. So 6 common differences. So 18 extra. 18 plus 2 will be 20. Value of x is 20. What will be the value of y here? Substitute this. The equation of the curve is y equals half x minus 3. So put y. Half of 20 is 10. 10 minus 3 is 7. First part is done. Second part says the number of points satisfying the above mentioned characteristic and not in the first quadrant. So they should satisfy this criteria but not be in the first quadrant. Now we know x is always positive, right? So what will be x? A1. A1 will be somewhere here also, right? So that is going to be not in the first quadrant. A2 is also not in the first quadrant, right? What happens to A3? What happens to A3? A3, the value of x would be 2 plus 3, which will be equal to 5. What will be the value of y? Value of y would be, if you substitute it here, 5 by 2 minus 3. That's also negative. So again, not in the first quadrant. So A3 is not in the first quadrant. Let's see what happens with A4. A4, the value of x would be 5 plus 3, 8. The value of y would be 8 by 2 minus 3, which is 1. Right? So it comes up in the first quadrant. And beyond this, we know all the values will be in the first quadrant because x is also increasing, y is also increasing. So we can guarantee that from A4 onwards, all the other points will be in the first quadrant. Your question was the number of points satisfying the above mentioned characteristics and not in the first quadrant. There will be A1, A2, A3, 3 such criteria. Not too difficult. We need to be a little patient. There are two parts to it. First one is to find the common difference of the geometric progression. That will give you the range for X. And then you need to find P and Q. That will give you the relationship between X and Y. Once you do that, plug it in, questions will be reasonably easy to solve. In an exam situation, because this is a double set, you can take as much up to 4 to 5 minutes to solve this. Now, this is a pretty tricky question from ZAT 2008. Takes some doing. Okay, it says the coordinates of P and Q are 0, 4 and A6 respectively. R is the midpoint of PQ. The perpendicular bisector of PQ cuts x-axis as point SB. How many integer values of A? B is an integer. So if I put A as an integer, how many of those cases will B will be an integer? Okay, so or in other words, how many cases A and B are both integers? Let's draw this diagram. This diagram will take some amount of time to draw. Okay, so P is at 0, 4. So this is point P. This is 0, 4. Q is A6. So it lies on Y is equal to 6. So let's call this A6. This is Q. R is the midpoint of PQ. Right, and the perpendicular bisector of PQ cuts the x-axis at point S, which is B, 0. How many integers will be there? Okay, now there are multiple things which you need to worry about. We need to relate this line with this line, right? How do we do this? I can find the midpoint. The location of R would be the average of these points, so it will be A by 2, 5. That's the value of R. Now R lies on both line PQ as well as RS. So let's find the equation of PQ. If I find the equation of PQ, right, that will be using 2-point form. You'll have X divided by Y minus 4 should be equal to A divided by 2. Right, so if I rewrite this, you will get Y should be equal to 2 by A times X plus 4. That will be the equation of PQ. Now the equation of RS. RS is perpendicular to PQ. So if I were to rewrite this, you'll get 2 by AX minus Y equals 4. So equation of RS will be interchange the coefficients of X and Y and change the sign of one of them. So you'll get X, Y, 2 by A. Let's make this positive. So this value should be equal to some constant K. Now we know B0 satisfies this relation. So let's substitute B0. So you get B should be equal to, if you put Y is equal to 0, this part becomes 0. B should be equal to K. So K should be equal to B. So equation of this line would be X plus 2 by A times Y equals B. Right, now the midpoint R lies on this line. So let's substitute this as well. So you get A by 2 plus 10 by A should be equal to B. What is, right? That should be equal to B. Right, so this gives us the value of B directly in terms of A. Now we have a relation between A and B. Now we need to find out how many integer values of A is B also an integer. If you observe carefully, right, for B to be an integer, A has to be a even number, because if A is an odd number, let's say put this as 3, this will be 3 by 2. This is a fraction. This does not give you that. And if suppose A is equal to 1, 10 by 1 plus 1 by 2 does not satisfy. So A has to be an even number. Also, if a exceeds 10 or goes below minus 10, then it cannot be an integer, because 10 divided by 11 cannot be an integer no matter what you do here. Right? So a has to be an even and should lie between minus 10 to plus 10. Right? So let's put some values and check. If I put a is equal to minus 10, will it satisfy? So minus 5 plus 1, yeah, b will satisfy. If I put a is equal to minus 8, 10 by 8 will not be a fraction. If I put 6, minus 6, that will also not be a problem. That will also be a problem. If I put 4, 10 by 4 is 5 by 2, but this is a natural number, will not satisfy. If I put a is equal to minus 2, right, so you'll have minus 1, minus 5, satisfies. Right, what is the next one? 0 cannot be put. 2 will satisfy, just as minus 2 will satisfy. 4 will not satisfy because minus 4 did not satisfy. 6 will not satisfy because minus 6 did not satisfy. And 8 will not satisfy because minus 8 will not satisfy. 10 will satisfy. So these are the 4 values possible. Right. In an exam situation, this will take you upwards of 3 minutes. That's why XAT is a pretty crazy paper. But because you have so few questions in XAT, which are there, and you have a lot of time, these are questions from a XAT perspective may be attempted in a second sort of a round. And the last one is from XAT 2014. Another crazy question, but not difficult. Actually, if you draw the diagram, the question solves pretty easily. A circle C1 has a radius 3 units. Line segment PQ is the only diameter of the circle which is parallel to the axis, and P and Q are points on the curves given by y is equal to ax and y is equal to 2a to the power x respectively, where a is less than 1. What is the value of a? Let me draw this graph. Right, I've drawn this earlier as well. Right, so this will be y is equal to 2a to the power x, and this will be y is equal to a to the power x. You can verify if you put x is equal to 0, in this case y will be 2 and x will be, and in this case x will be 1, y will be 1, right? And every point for any value of x, the value of y will always be y is equal to 2ax will always be above y is equal to a to the power x. They are asymptotic, so they will meet only at infinity. Right, now the question is, you have a circle with a radius 3 units, right, and this line has to be parallel to the x-axis, right? So one point P will be here, other point Q will be on this line, and this is parallel to the, this line is parallel to the x-axis, and it creates a circle. Right, the question that is being asked is, what is the value of a? If it is given that this radius is 3 units, which means the diameter will be 6 units. Now, how do we measure this? This is the point on the graph, on the above graph, and this is the point on the below graph. So if the value of x is equal to k here, the value of x will be k plus 6. Right, and the y values will be both equal because it's parallel to the x-axis. So this will be a y is equal to some constant. In both the cases, that constant will be the same. Right, so let's substitute these values here. So this will be, you know, y is equal to a to the power k, which is same as twice of a to the power k plus 6. Let's try to resolve this relationship. Right, so if you rewrite this, you'll get a to the power k is equal to twice a to the power k into a to the power 6. Let's do it. Right, so you will get a to the power 6 equals half, or a should be half to the power 1 by 6, which is same as 2 to the power minus 1 by 6. Option A. Be a little patient, plot the curve, job done. As you can see, the questions in XAT from coordinate geometry are much more tougher than what you get in CAT. That doesn't mean that you should leave them. You should temper them with an expectation that it's a longer paper with lesser number of questions compared to a CAT sort of a setting. So you can extend the number of minutes to solve per question to from 2 per minute to maybe 2 per question to about 3 per question. Especially if you have a double question, you can take up to 5 to 6 minutes in the second round to solve those questions. That said, right, the questions which we solved today did not require a lot of special relations. It's just that it made you apply the basic principles of geometry to a coordinate geometry scenario. They were not difficult in terms of being calculation intensive or anything like that. It's just they were lengthy, right? You had to work. There were no easy shortcuts over here.
That completes this particular session. If you liked it, please do share it with your friends who are preparing for CAT and other MBA entrance examination. Please do subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as follow our Facebook page. The links for our course are available on the description to this video. Till we meet again the next time, goodbye and all the best.